Okay, preface to the start of this video, I apologize if my neighbors are doing yard work, so it gets a bit loud. I will try and block it out as best I can. This video has purpose. A lot of people are not going to want to see it. A lot of people are not going to want to talk about it. A lot of people are going to be like, Liz, I don't really fucking care. I don't care. And if you know me, you should know that I stand for equality in everything. Everything. I'm not typically one-sided. Obviously, there are some things you have to choose a side on. End of story. I am going to make this very clear. I'm doing this video not because I think that my side is being penalized or treated unfairly. I am doing this as an equality thing, as every American should be fucking pissed right now. They should be fucking pissed. They should be angry. I don't care what side you are. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, if you voted Biden or Trump. I don't. One of the main things and one of the great things that makes our country great is the ability to vote in the next leader. Okay, our voting system is what it makes us. It's what's important. It's what a lot of other countries don't have. Unfortunately, it's not always perfect. Okay, but what we are seeing right now is astronomical. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care if it was Biden. I don't care if it was Trump. What you should be seeing right now, what you should be investigating, not listening to the media. Please shut it off. Honestly, y'all should know better by now than to listen to a biased news source. You should. They shouldn't be giving you their personal opinions. They 100% shouldn't. So shut it off and do your own goddamn research. Because I did. And I can tell you, it's not pretty. Okay? So we're going to go through this step by step. For the people who say that I'm not doing enough, that I'm not involving myself, I'm involved. You ready for some truth? Because it's about to go down. The first thing that I'm going to bring up is that we are seeing an astronomical amount of voting issues, voter fraud, voter suppression, voter problems, okay? And I'm going to go through this list so everybody can just hold on tight. This is going to be a long video, okay? Y'all want to make me do shit? I did shit. Now y'all get to fucking listen, okay? Because I'm pissed. I am pissed that, I didn't vote the last two elections. I'll be honest, I didn't. And I didn't because I thought it was a bullshit system. It is. It's a bullshit system. There's too many flaws. There's too many issues. But this year, I had to vote. It was too important. I had to vote. I had to stand for what I believed in. And whether people liked my stance or not, I had to do it. So I did. But the problem is right now, we are seeing an astronomical amount of votes that are fraudulent or issues that should never have fucking happened. And they happened. So let's go with number one. Okay? Issue number one, machine issues. It was highly preached by the media that the machines that you vote for were not connected to the internet, right? So there was very, very little chance of hacking. Well, according to Politico, who did their own investigation on this, NBC reported that 35 voting systems do go online, which can lead to fraud. Now, I get that there's thousands out there, but 35 leading to fraud is still pretty huge. So if these 35 are connected to the internet, that's a problem, which means that hackers can get in. Politico also said that hackers can attempt to get into these machines, whether they're hooked up to the internet or not. And Politico has done their own independent research. Just because it didn't come from CNN or NBC or Fox News doesn't mean it's not legitimate. FYI. So let's go over this. On Election Day, machine issues were seen in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Ohio, New York, and California. Some of them leaving pollers standing for hours before the machines were brought up. And they gave them the offer to submit a paper electronic ballot in the emergency electronic ballot system. I'm sorry. I don't care which side you're on. I don't trust people to handle that stuff when it should be my vote. So no, these issues should never have occurred. They never should have occurred. Michigan has seen a glitch in one county that gave 6,000 votes to Biden that should have been for Trump. That's one county, and I believe they said 30-something different counties use this exact same software. Another thing is using poll books. Poll books is the electronic system that you use to check in to get your ballot that says your name and all. Interesting. That's voter fraud. That's voter suppression. That's voter problems. These votes need to count of that stuff. Just so we're all aware, poll books can be hacked. So they send you the wrong ballot. They print you the wrong ballot. And 2, they are not federally tested. They're not. Poll books are not federally tested. So, machine issues, huge. Huge. Now, to problem number 2. Voter ballots by mail. Maybe you don't want to hear it. Maybe you are heard the done on the preaching. I'm going to preach some more. On the day of election, 17 ballots were found buried in the ground in Glendale, Arizona. Now, maybe it's 17 ballots. Okay, so you're like, 17. Those are 17 American votes that did not get counted. Thousands of ballots in California, per the video on my page, were picked up the day after election by the election officials. Thousands. They were loading bags. Thousands of them. Pennsylvania had tons found in the trash. Wisconsin had tons found in a ditch. Multiple were military ballots, and multiple were for Trump. Now, again, I don't care what side you're on. I don't. If you are seeing this many ballots that are coming in that are fraudulent, I don't care what side you're on. Maybe some of those were for Biden, but it doesn't matter. If we are seeing any kind of fraud, we as Americans should be pissed. We should be standing up for the fact that our God-given right as an American, our American values of our voting system are being completely and totally fucked. And I don't care if it's by an individual, a USPS postal worker, a FedEx postal worker, a government official. When our rights as Americans to vote in an election are being fucked, we need to stand and say this isn't okay. On either side of the spectrum. Do not think that because your party is losing or winning or whatever that this doesn't impact you, because it does. One of the ballot issues that I had, and it personally happened in my family, is my sister is military in California. Her residence is technically still Arizona. She registered her ballot last year. She did not receive her ballot for the primaries in California where she should have gotten it. And then trying to contact our recorder here in Arizona, was given the runaround, never got to vote in our general election. She did not get her ballot. You tell me how that's fair, especially for someone who is in the military. Don't tell me voter fraud isn't happening. It's happening to my own family. So this is happening, and now you've got me pissed. Issue number 3. A leaked postal worker has come out without revealing his identity and stated that they were supposed to backdate ballots. Now, if this information is accurate, and they are investigating it, they are. This is huge. This is huge. Videos have been leaked that are showing evidence right in front of your face that ballots are being trashed, burned, and I don't care if they're not the real ballot. That means somebody's stealing mail. That's a problem. That's a voter suppression. And changed. Video of them being changed is on the internet. You can look it up. It's right there in front of your face. 3,000 ballots in Nevada were found from people who no longer lived there and had changed their residence, which should not be allowed. It shouldn't. If you're a college student, your residence stays with your parents until you are out of college. But these 3,000 people had already changed their address into the state they were supposed to be in. Your vote needs to go to the state that you're in, not your old one. Sorry. Doesn't work that way. And on to the next topic. Election watchdog, independent source, does their own research. They shouldn't be discredited because they're not CNN, Fox News, and ABC, NBC. Still research. Found 350,000 deceased voters were registered this year. Look it up. Deceased registers were done in Florida and South Carolina. Both people were prosecuted. Both were over 50 registrations by one person for deceased voters. How many more are out there that we didn't count, that we didn't catch? We need to be verifying deceased voters. There needs to be a better way. You can't have it happening at all. Pennsylvania, who is on my shit list right now, has now done two things. The first thing is they would not allow registered Republicans to be in when they did the ballot counts, even though a judge told them they had to. Why do you not want Republicans in there? Curious. And they also passed I don't know if it's a law, but a judge said that the signature does not have to match on mail-in ballots. I could go steal anybody's ballot and mail it in with whatever I think their signature is. It's not hard. That's not okay. It's not okay at all. Pennsylvanians, I would be freaking pissed. I would be demanding that this change and firing whoever is in your government and your judges. And the last one I'm going to bring up is the Sharpie Gate. Now, here's where this is an issue. I was told the entire year by people who were going to work the polls, by people who voted, by people in the voter registration, that you don't want to use a Sharpie because it bleeds through. And the instructions say not to write anywhere on your ballot unless it is bubbling in the actual bubble and the write-in area for different candidates, okay? That if there was any write-in of any kind in anywhere on that ballot, it would invalidate the ballot. That doesn't mean the machine wouldn't read it. It would invalidate your ballot because you wrote somewhere you weren't supposed to. So if Sharpies bleed through, sure, the machine can read the Sharpie, but does that mean that my ballot was not invalidated because a Sharpie was used and it bled through? The next thing about that is I was told not to use a Sharpie. I'm not going to use a Sharpie. On the thing that I received in the mail, it said blue or black ink, and I've read in multiple places not to use a goddamn Sharpie. I was handed a Sharpie. Whether it was a pen Sharpie or a thick marker Sharpie, doesn't matter. It bled through. I asked for a pen. The poll worker for over 5 minutes continued to argue with me and refused to give me a pen. It wasn't until I said, I'll just go out to my car and get my own pen then, that she finally gave in and gave me a pen. This was a 5 to 10 minute ordeal. If it's not a big deal, why would you fight me? Why wouldn't you just be like, oh, okay, here's a pen? Multiple people are looking up their ballots to see if an early ballot was sent to them. And they are finding that they have a canceled on an early ballot they never requested. Mine shows that I never requested an early ballot. So why are all these people getting it canceled or information about a ballot by mail that they never requested? It's intriguing. And it shouldn't be happening. There have been 1,298 instances of voter fraud found in this country over the last 10 years. Now, I realize that number seems kind of small, but is it really? Because how many did I just list off to you? I have proof. I looked it all up before I made this video. I did my research. I didn't watch Fox News. Y'all can try and bullshit all you want. Both sides should be pissed. Because if you're seeing this much voter fraud, if you're seeing this much voter suppression, if you're seeing people, poll workers who are able to wear masks, who have their presidential person on them, that's not allowed. There's people out here who are turned away from the polls for wearing a shirt with a U.S. flag on it. Why? Why are they allowed to do this? That's voter suppression. You're not allowed to. So why is this happening? Y'all should be pissed. You better be pissed. Every single American better stand up and say, this is my right, and it's being hurt. It's being taken away. It's being fraudulated. It's being tainted. I don't care who you voted for. I don't. You voted for your reasons. Whatever they were. I voted for mine. I did my research. I hope you did yours. But the fact stands that right now, as of our 2020 general election, there have been so many cases of fraud that I can't trust anything about this election. And none of you should either. Most of you are going to. I can't change your mind. But I hope some of you are really fucking pissed off that you stand up and say this isn't okay. We need to fight. This is our country.